I think if you get a chance to write songs later on in life, and it's not just a quick period of, your teens or in your 20s when you might just have some hits. I had a chance to go on and write with lots of different artists and lots of different projects. And I think that that period of time meant that it's pretty amazing to me that I've been, writing songs for 25 years. You get a chance to put into your songs some of the things you might have seen in life. And I think that's the benefit of a writer if his career is over a long period of time. But I think maybe in the last 2 albums I've had a chance to work on, probably after working with Robbie Robertson and Bernie Taupin, I started to have a chance to put more of my philosophy as such, or the things I'd seen into my songs, and be brave enough to do that. Why did I always have this about music and songs? And I think it was my mother. My mother always loved music, and it was always in the house. She would always have records, vinyl and 45s playing. And in her time, I think there were 78s. So we're going back. It's one of these things you have to wind it up, but a gas player, But she loved music, and my father always said to me, and because you don't really realise what you're going through as a kid, and it was my mum. My mum was always playing music, and so I used to see the house change. People were happy. We used to have parties, and I'd noticed that if you put a record on, people's characters would change, and a certain kind of magic came into the room. I mean, my whole thing wasn't even writing songs when I was a kid. I didn't really start playing an instrument till I was about 18. It was quite late. A lot of their family had been involved in working as stevedores or working at the docks, and that's really where our destiny was going to be, and it was going to be my destiny. I was at a secondary school, and I was fortunate enough to be quite good at soccer, and so the local professional team pulled me out of my school and said, "We'll make you a professional soccer player." So I sort of escaped the route of going straight to the docks.
As a soccer player?
As a soccer player. I was signed as an apprentice. And actually, while I was doing soccer, I had a chance to go to London and travel around and hear music in the clubs. It was around when I was about 18, when the Beatles had already really hit, that I started to go to London playing with the soccer team and hear Motown, black music being played in the London clubs. What I heard seemed magical to me, and I think it got me out of myself. Every time I would hear the Supremes or the Four Tops or Marvin Gaye, I'd hear these records and just it hit my temperament, it hit my soul. It sounds corny to say, but I wasn't even a musician at that point. I wasn't even singing or even thinking about songwriting. I just wanted to be around records. I wanted to be in clubs. I wanted to be in record shops. And then it suddenly dawned on me, like, wouldn't it be great to buy a guitar and to learn a few chords and see what happens? And that's totally how it started. I wanted to get nearer to music. Mm-hmm. And after I'd got nearer to the records, it was like, let me get nearer to a guitar. Now let me get nearer to an amplifier. Now let me get nearer to a microphone. All the things that basically made that record happen, I was slowly pulling towards, because I think it was just magical. I never saw it as a business. I never saw it as a successful career. I think even my parents were like, they were behind me, but like, whoa, this is, I wonder where this is going to go. My father wanted me to be a soccer player. So, growing your hair long and traveling around England in various bands back in the 70s was not something that they thought was the most realistic thing to do, but they were behind me because they could see I was passionate about it. It's the naive passion that you just keep going and doing it. You don't really think that you can stop doing it. It's not like, oh, should I be doing this? It's like, I've got to do this because I love it. And so, getting your first guitar is a major break. Speaking to the man in the guitar shop and saying, what string should I put on my string is a break to me. Obviously, there are commercial breaks, when you have your first hit or you meet the right musician to write a song with. But they're so numerous. If people can almost sense when somebody's passionate about something. I never really set out to say I need to be a great this or that. My main instrument is bass guitar, and there were many years when I was learning that all I wanted to do was be a very good bass player, and I wanted to end up in studios being a session player. That helped me learn the rudiments of music, just trying to be a good player. But really, when you love something, I know it sounds, again, noble, but when you love something, it's very hard for you to people to stop you, even if they're against you. You know, you'll find a lot of artists will say, well, you know, I got to go on and do this. I care about it. I'm happy doing it. And I think that's the key thing. I think it's if you're happy doing it. I've never had a feeling that I had to stop because it was because of a business side or I wasn't successful at it. Even when I wasn't successful, I felt like just around the corner I was going to write a better song or I was going to play better. But the time I felt like I could stop was when both my parents had passed away in quite close proximity, and I remember having the energy drawn out of me at that point, where I felt a real sense of, why do I need to do this anymore? It's not important. My priorities changed. I was in a period of grief, and I at that point felt like, I don't need to do this. I don't really feel it at this point. And I wouldn't enjoy it anyway. Lo and behold, over a period of time, it felt very, very special to do it again, and I felt a need to do it again. But that's the only point in my life when you lose people that you really care for, and a few people that I'd also known around that time had suffered, and of course it's growing older with these people that I did feel like I was like, it's not important. It's not important to be sat down strumming a guitar for hours on end thinking if I'm going to write the right lyric. But I think that was a natural reaction to being hit off your perch and, you know, your soul being moved to one side. And then after you heal, you absolutely realise that it's the most important thing in the world to do, is to get back to doing your creativity.